Welcome to What a Creep, the show with Margot Donahue and Sonia Mansfield talking about creeps from the past to the present.
This is your quick guide to the biggest creeps, jerks, assholes, and losers, the best of the worst.
From two nice ladies who want the world to be a little less creepy.
Welcome back to What a Creep. This is Margot Donahue, and my cohort in creepitude, as always, is the amazing Sonia Mansfield. Hey, Sonia.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. So it's the last week in March, first week in April when we're getting together. Oh, it's April Fool's Day.
It's April Fool's Day.
This isn't an April Fool. It's a real episode we're recording. And no April Fools here. We both are getting our first vaccinations this week. Sweet.
So, it's happening. It is happening. I'm so excited. I told Margot before we started recording that I've been trying really hard to get my appointment booked, and I was feeling like everyone was hanging out without me.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting their vaccines except for me. But it's happening. Womp womp, sad trombone. But it's happening.
They're having them in New York all night, like at the Javits Center, and they're filling up the appointments like crazy. And I'm so happy. This is such good news. So we have a little bit longer to get through, everybody, but just hang in there. Hopefully
so
the
close.
ending is in sight. Just keep your masks on for a little while longer. Let's do this, people.
I really don't have much of an issue with the mask at all. I'm like, it's fine. I'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, if I'm not going to get sick. I mean, I haven't had a cold in forever.
Right? That's the best. I always get the grossest, nastiest cold right around the holidays.
Same.
And it didn't happen this year. And it's amazing.
Nary a sinus infection, nothing. So I'm going to probably stick with this for a while.
I like it.
Yeah. You can find us on social media. We have a basic Facebook page. We don't really use it. People use it to scold us about our language.
Suckers, because we don't check that page.
But I just want you guys to know we do use salty language. So if that's a problem for you, you probably want to listen to another show. We have,
yeah.
we have a Facebook group that is private. You have to ask to join. It's What a Creep Podcast group. We're much more interactive there. It's the nicest place. Really, we keep it kind. We keep, you can rage, but we don't dump on people with certain words, and we just.
It's the best group on Facebook.
But it is. Absolutely.
It is.
It's not a trash pile.
Mm-mm. We don't allow such things.
We do not.
You will get a Judge Judy finger wag if you're out of line.
We're on Twitter at CreepPod because somebody had What a Creep for 10 years and never used it.
Creep.
We're on Instagram at What a Creep Podcast. You're really into this today.
You know what? I'm drinking a Diet Coke. I'm really caffeinated, y'all. Sorry.
And she's been on vacation all week.
I hardly ever drink soda anymore, but I'm having one today as a treat.
I had one the other day, a Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
God damn, I thought I was going to tap up and down the hallway here. I had so much energy.
Soda is so bad for you.
Yeah,
I know it is, but it's so delicious. I love you, Diet Coke. Don't ever change.
Tell them about the website.
I just took a sip. It is at whatacreeppodcast.com, and it's everything you ever wanted to know about our podcast, but we're afraid to ask. And it includes a link to our merch shop. It's on Threadless, and it has the most wonderful comfy shirts on there, by the way. My son loves his shirt, wears it all the time. And there's tote bags and journals, and we're seeing some pictures in our Facebook group of things that people are getting, and they are so rad. Somebody got like one of those laundry bags. I love the idea of us carrying around their dirty laundry. It makes me really happy for some reason.
Well, when I got my vaccination, I was bringing along my tote bag with my face on it.
Nice. That's awesome.
We also
we have face masks too.
We do have face masks. We also have Patreon bonus episodes if you want to support the show. It's extra content that we put out there. It's about every other week, and we just comment on the news, and we tell stories, and we dish, and we definitely have drinks when we're doing that one. And I want to thank our two newest members, Heather and Yvonne. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you guys so much for leaving reviews in iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. That's so cool. We got a brand new 5-star review, and it's from Anya Anka Angel. And she just wrote, "I need some saddle shoes." I think that's for you.
You do need saddle shoes. They're the best. They're the best.
All righty. So, Sonia, who is our creep today?
We are going to be talking about Victor Salva. Do you know who that is, Margot?
I sort of do, but go ahead.
Okay. Victor Salva isn't a name that a lot of people probably recognize, but he is the director of 1995's Powder. A lot of people know Powder. And he also did the horror movie franchise Jeepers Creepers. Did you watch those?
I actually saw Powder because I used to think the guy was cute that played Powder. And then I showed him
like
in the movie theater.
Sean Patrick Flannery.
Yeah, I had a kind of a crush on him. That movie is a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. It also has Jeff Goldblum and Mary Steenburgen. Yeah, like I said, not a name you probably recognize, but he is a convicted child molester, and he's someone who continues to work in Hollywood. And I know of him because he is local to the Bay Area, and a lot of this happened right here in my own backyard. So kind of similar to the Dan White episode, maybe I'm physically close to this one. So it's been on my mind for a while. So he's been on the list for a while. So we're going to get into it. I first want to give our trigger warnings. There's sexual abuse, child pornography, and grooming. And the sources, we list all of our sources. You can go into the show notes or go on the website, and there's links to everything because we're not reporters anymore. Los Angeles Times, The Independent, The Daily Beast, The San Francisco Chronicle, Vice, Internet Movie Database, BBC, and Wikipedia. So let's start at the beginning. Born on March 29th.
No.
Sorry, Margot.
Holy fuck. Another creep?
Another
March 29th. Chris D'Elia, the comic, also has that birth. Fuck.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Margot,
you guys. That's my birthday.
You are not a creep.
No, but god damn it. Okay, keep going.
I know. They're ruining March 29th for everyone. On these people. So, March 29th, 1958 in Martinez, California. That is about 30-something miles outside of San Francisco for people who want to know. Victor Salva's mother was 18 when he was born, and his father split pretty soon afterwards. Victor's mother remarried, but his stepfather was an alcoholic and he was physically abusive.
Yikes.
At a young age, Victor was super into movies, specifically horror and sci-fi. His favorite was The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and in 1975, the local newspaper reported that Victor had sat through Jaws 55 times. I'm guessing it was a slow news day that this was the story in the local paper.
I think most of us have. It's a good movie, and it's on TV all the time.
Yes, and the local newspaper, by the way, was probably the Martinez News-Gazette. I used to be a reporter there back in the day. That's another connection I have to Martinez.
Stop bragging about your credits.
Yeah, so the Martinez News-Gazette. It's where all the famous journalists start. For a whopping $213 a week. I was rolling in it. Woo! So by the time he graduated from high school, Victor had written and directed more than 20 short and feature films. To finance his filmmaking hobby, he often worked 2 jobs during the week. He was also, or he still is, gay, and his family threw him out of the house at 18.
Oh, that sucks.
It super sucks. In 1981, Victor was working at a daycare center where he met Rebecca Winters. And he was working on, he was making, one of his little videos called, The Goblin's God. And this is a quote. I know. Did you know a horror movie kid back in the day?
I was that kid.
Yeah. There was always, I always knew kind of like the movie Summer School, your what was Chainsaw and what's the other guy's name?
Oh, Dave.
Dave and Chainsaw. Everybody knew a Dave and a Chainsaw. I think Victor Salva might have been the creepy version of David Chainsaw. Like the dude who's like super into horror, makes his own horror movies. I definitely had that friend.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he was. So he was making a video called The Goblin's God. And Rebecca said, quote, I was helping to sculpt the goblin's face and that he became a trusted family friend. And then in 1986, he was directing a 35-minute video called Something in the Basement. And it starred her 8-year-old son, Nathan Forrest Winters.
Okay.
And Nathan said, he spent the better part of a year grooming me and my parents.
Oh, shit.
He developing the trust. It was very calculated and a long process, as it is with most pedophiles. He said that he knew Victor for 2 years before he tried anything sexual, so he would
was
have been
10?
10.
Jesus.
He said, I loved him like a father. I didn't have a strong male influence. That's what Victor was using against me, the kind of trust and love that I was lacking.
Oh God, that's terrible.
It's really sad. In 1986, that little movie, Something in the Basement, took first place in a fiction category at the Sony AFI Home Video Competition. And it's this like horror allegory about a young boy waiting for his brother's return from a bloody war. And it won a bunch of like national awards. So it won like a bronze plaque at the Chicago International Film Festival. And that's where Francis Ford Coppola discovered him.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided to help produce Victor's first theatrical feature called Clown House in 1989. And Victor wrote and directed it. And that's a low budget horror movie. And it's about these 3 boys who are terrorized by circus clowns.
Isn't everyone terrorized by them?
No shit, right? I was like, so it's a documentary, right?
Have you ever
Like,
seen Shakes the Clown?
Yes. Yes. I'm like, this. It's first of all, I wouldn't have seen this movie because I don't want to. Well, I did see it, so I don't know. Anyway, I get it though. Circus clowns are very scary. So this movie starred Nathan Forrest Winters, the boy from earlier, another boy named Brian McHugh, and some dude named Sam Rockwell.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, who, I did not know this, grew up in San Mateo. I had no
Stop it.
idea.
Oh.
I had no idea he was like a Bay Area guy. Well, San Mateo's like more South Bay than Bay Area, but you get the idea. Anyway, Clown House did pretty well. It screened at Sundance. It was bankrolled by Francis Ford Coppola. Coppola even loaned all the cameras from George Lucas's American Graffiti to make the movie.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So it was during filming of Clown House that Nathan's mom, Rebecca, started to notice that things weren't right. She said that, this is a quote, Victor said I couldn't go to the set. He said Nathan couldn't work if I was there. And I just had these feelings and I confronted Nathan and he admitted it to me. He said, I have a secret and I can't tell anyone.
Okay, sorry. How old is Nathan at this point?
So at this point, he is now 12 years old.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. She said she started to notice. She didn't, by the way, it had been going on for like 2 years at this point. Like he had been grooming him for a couple years. And then at 10, the sexual abuse started and it was still going on when he was 12. The mom said she noticed that Victor was asking Nathan to stay behind for extra rehearsals. And during this time, Victor forced his young star to give and receive oral sex. And all the while, he kept the camera rolling to add to his child porn collection.
Oh, no.
It's so awful. So Nathan finally told his mom because she noticed things were not right. And they called the police and Victor was arrested. He pled guilty to lewd and lascivious, thank you, Jesus, conduct, oral sex with a person under 14, and procuring a child for pornography, which he was sentenced to a whopping 3 years in prison.
Oh,
Isn't that?
Oh my God.
3 years. He served 15 months.
Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy? What the fuck? What the fuck? By the way, Francis Ford Coppola was on hand for some of the filming of Clown House. And they actually did some filming at Coppola's home in Napa Valley. And he said, I didn't know of anything improper going on, although I witnessed some things that caused me to raise an eyebrow. Only in retrospect did things really add up. You have to remember, this is fucked up. While this was a tragedy, the difference in age between Victor and the boy was very small. Victor was practically a child himself.
What?
Fuck off, Coppola.
Oh, wait a second. How old was he? 20? 21?
He was 20.
Oh my God. Oh my. He's
And this art, yes. Fuck off, Francis Ford Coppola, with that bullshit. Fuck off. Once again, the lengths that people will go to defend
a shitty human.
A shitty human. Like, fuck off.
Over a kid.
Yeah. So the Winters family, they actually tried to sue Coppola's commercial pictures for $5 million, but they eventually settled out of court for barely over $100,000.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Victor completed his parole in 1992, and then he started working as a telemarketer during the week, and he wrote scripts on the weekends, and then he would deliver them to well-known producers. He would pose as a delivery boy. So he made he made some movie called The Nature of the Beast. It was like a direct-to-video horror movie, and it had Lance Hendrickson and Eric Roberts. And then in 1995 is when he made his first like really big studio picture for Disney. Disney, it's supposed to be all about like family-friendly shit. Here's their convicted child molester directing Powder, which if you guys haven't seen Powder, seriously, you're fine. You don't need to see it. But it's a tale of an albino boy, and he has these like special powers, and he's an outcast, and everyone thinks he's weird.
Well, there was this time where people got Oscars for playing someone with some sort of affliction. Nowadays, we would say just hire a deaf person or a person in a wheelchair. But there was a lot of praise given to people who would play somebody who had something like an affliction. And I never thought of albinoism. But
yeah.
Okay.
So when news broke about Victor's child molestation conviction, Disney officials said that they didn't know about it, and they were only informed after production had already started, which I don't fucking believe, not for 1 second, that Disney didn't do any research before handing a movie over to this dude. Give me a fucking break. Anyway, the movie got released. It was playing in theaters, and Nathan and some of his friends picketed the studio industry screenings of the film.
Good for them.
Yeah, passed out leaflets about the filmmaker's conviction to executives leaving the theater. The leaflet said, please don't spend your money on this movie. It would just go to line the pockets of this child molester. In an interview with the Associated Press, Nathan said that it just makes him physically sick. It's like, I'm not going to stand by. He shouldn't be allowed to live his life as if nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. So he did another kind of shitty coming of age thriller called Rites of Passage. And then in 2001, he wrote and directed this movie called Jeepers Creepers. I didn't see it. I know people like these movies.
They're okay.
Yeah, but it was a huge hit, and it set the record for the largest Labor Day box office debut ever. And he made another one, Jeepers Creepers 2, and that one was also a huge hit. And there was a third one that came out in 2017. He's still working, by the way. He's got other movies in production. So, you know how Quentin Tarantino has a foot fetish?
Mm-hmm.
And he's always showing like close-ups of actresses' feet in his movies. So Victor Salva's has a navel fetish. And he always has like several close-up shots of his male actors' belly buttons.
Ooh.
Isn't that icky?
Wow.
Seems icky.
Yeah.
And through all of this, Coppola has been very loyal to him. After he was released from prison, Coppola gave Victor $5,000 to like help him get an apartment and get back on his feet. And when MGM was nervous about hiring Victor to direct Jeepers Creepers, Coppola vouched for him. Coppola said someone had launched a campaign against Victor saying, "How can you give this guy a movie to make? Some of the financing for the film fell through. One of the actors resigned when he learned about the case, so I helped Victor get a job. I was criticized for it, but my attitude is he has talent, and that talent in itself is good. We don't embrace the person in believing that their art is a contribution to society. If we don't have to embrace the person to believe that their art is a contribution to society."
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Dude
What's
bends
in his
over.
closet?
Yeah, right? He just bends over backwards to like justify. Dude, he's Coppola. He could help a lot of filmmakers tell stories.
Yeah.
Why is he helping this guy? There's a lot of talented people out there that need a break. Why does this guy get a break over and over?
Has he ever said anything?
Yeah, so that was the next thing. So the Victor Salva says that he has served his time and he wants to redeem himself. And he, in multiple interviews, he said, "I pled guilty to a terrible crime and I've spent the rest of my life trying to make up for it." And he says, "I try to help others. I've been in therapy. I've made movies, but I paid my debt to society and I apologized to the young man." But his Rebecca Winters, that's Nathan's mother, said that Victor, they say Victor served his time, but he hasn't paid his dues, that he served 1.5 years of a 3-year sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that in comparison to a lifetime of pain?
Yeah, I mean, does he what has he done for Nathan? I mean,
Right.
Has he made a lot of money from these movies? I mean,
Victor's probably made a shit ton of money. Yes. Has he done anything for Nathan? No. Also, what he did is really fucked up.
Yeah, no, that's horrifying.
And I realize that like Hollywood is a business and that making movies is a business. And does he deserve a chance to like make a living? I guess so. Yeah. But I also feel like making movies is kind of a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he deserves it. So I wanted to end it on Nathan because like he's been, he went out and like, picketed at these movies and raised awareness for himself. Pay attention to this. This is something that's happening. And since then, he has been like a really powerful advocate. He's always working to raise awareness about the prevention of sexual abuse. He doesn't make movies anymore. He said that when he pressed his charges against Victor back in the day when Nathan was just 12, Coppola told him he would never work in this industry again.
He said that to a 12-year-old?
Yes.
What a fucking asshole. We have two creeps in one here.
Yeah, right?
Oh my God.
So Nathan has not been doing really any acting, but he started writing and performing music, and he does have a band called the Seven Stone. So if you're interested in hearing that music, I can put a link to that in the show notes as well. But I wanted to end it with Nathan because I think he's really, really trying. I feel my heart breaks for that guy. I feel so bad for him. And also, fuck Victor Salva. He's a creep.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Good
so
job,
that's
Sonia.
Thanks.
Oy, oy, oy.
He sucks.
So I'm not going to watch Cheaper Creepers again or Powder. That's off my list.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you were really itching to revisit Powder.
Yeah. No, but I'm super disappointed in Coppola. Like, honest to God. Where are your loyalties?
Right?
And you have to stand for something. Where are your principles? There's so many talented people in show business.
Exactly. That's the thing. I once again, like I said, I think I know that it's a business, but there are a lot of people out there that can do what Victor Salva does. Is he so is Jeepers Creepers so amazingly great that you have to like throw a 12-year-old kid under the bus? Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
fuck off.
Do you want to hear about somebody who's in show business, who's a director and not a creep?
Yes, please.
Chloe Zhao, or Zhao. I've heard it pronounced two
Ooh.
different ways. She's the director of Nomadland. She was born March 31st, 1982. She just had a birthday this week, an Aries, a fellow Aries. She was born in Beijing. She was educated in England and then in America. She's been in America since she was a teenager. And she grew up realizing that everything she believed growing up in China, everything was a lie. And it became really important for her to kind of uncover truth. And when she came to America, she was so fascinated with the middle section of America, not just the coasts, but the people living. And she's really interested in the people who are in the margins.
Mm-hmm.
So her second feature was a movie called The Rider, and it won the Independent Spirit Award for Best Film. And it's about a guy who's a rodeo guy, and he has a head injury, and he's got to figure out what he's going to do with his life. And I started getting into her, reading all these interviews and watching her, and it's just fascinating. Like, she really knows how to get emotion out of people without being manipulative. And she was given Nomadland, and that's the movie that's on Hulu right now here in the States and Canada. I'm not sure where you can get it around the world, but she won Best Director at the Golden Globes, the second woman ever to do it.
That's bananas.
Yes.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And she's the first Asian woman to win in that category. This is, once again, like, someone super talented, and you would think, like, well, who am I going to get to do this movie that's quintessentially American? It's about this story of people who live in their campers, who are nomads, who just move around the country and take up jobs wherever they can. And she filmed it beautifully. And it took 5 months. They were on the road.
It's a gorgeous movie.
It's beautiful. And her eye is just incredible. The way she frames her shots and everything. She's just incredible. She's also filming The Eternals right now. That's coming out in November. That's another Marvel universe thing. She studied under Spike Lee at New York University.
Oh.
And she's just a fascinating person. And she lives with her partner and in Southern California, and they have 2 chickens and a dog.
Oh,
Which is just, I think, the coolest thing ever.
I want a chicken.
Yeah. And she's just super interesting. If you go to YouTube and you look up interviews with her, and she just talks about working with Frances McDormand and all these different people that what her vision is, how she sees people, the stories she's interested in telling. It's just so good right now. Like, we're opening that up and having more people, be allowed to tell their stories.
Yeah.
We don't need another Victor Salva. Like, I've heard his stories over and over again. Like, we need people like her who understand what freedom really is. And, and also, like, just how tragic it is to be somebody, like, a lot of people in 2008, the economy was shook, and a lot of people never recovered from that. And they're getting older and older. And it's an important story to tell. And also stories about women and indigenous people. Like, there's just so many voices out there, and we need to support them. And we need to stream it when it's available, buy it, go see it in the theater when that's okay again. Like, we have to show those numbers. And so that's our not creep this week, Chloe Zhao.
Really good one. Good one, Margot.
Yeah, I wanted to get somebody just like, for the future, like thinking of somebody who's like the next wave and things like that. And she just had her birthday yesterday. So I'm like,
nice.
Let's just do this. So next week, you guys, just to prep you, we want to take a break from the molesters. We realized we had a lot of them in a row. So we're just going to have a fraudster, a guy that's just an old-fashioned ripoff artist. You'll love it. That's going to be next week. And on Dorking Out currently, that's our show that Sonia and I also co-host. We were talking about Troop Beverly Hills, excuse me.
Yes.
And then what is the next one we're doing, Sonia?
I think we're Jagged Edge, yeah?
Jagged Edge. I'm so excited.
Woo! We're doing a nice 80s thriller.
That is so awesome.
One of our fave things to do. And I haven't seen Jagged Edge in a long time, but I liked it back in the day. I bet it's still good. It's got Jeff Bridges and Glenn Close. Can't be all bad.
It's 1986, y'all. That's a great year for movies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. So please follow us on all the things. We love it when you use the gif of Annie Potts and Ghostbusters saying we got one, either for Twitter or Facebook or whatever. We always need suggestions for creeps. We always like it when you come to the Facebook group and you leave us. There's this whole thing about girl watching. Did you see that somebody posted?
No, what?
Okay, so the Dollop did a show and it was all about how in the 50s and 60s there was a craze of girl watching songs and girl watching clubs in America. And
I don't even know what this is.
that's when you stalk a woman on the street and you take pictures of it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But we talk about that shit in our Facebook group.
Yeah. My niece texted me the other day with a request. She would like us to talk about Margaret Thatcher.
She's on the list.
I was like, she's 100% on the list, my friend.
We should do that for UK peeps.
There you go.
Yep.
And for Lorelai, because that was her request. I was like, I'm on it, Lorelai. God.
So once again, we're at CreepPod on Twitter. We have the Facebook group. We have Instagram. Our email is whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. We have stickers. If you would like some stickers, don't be shy. Ask for some stickers. Show your pride.
They're so cute.
They're adorable. And we do have a Patreon page if you're interested. Patreon, What a Creep Podcast. Leave us a review on iTunes or anywhere else if you like the show. We really appreciate it.
You need to tell people where people can find you, Margot.
You can find me on social media at Brooklyn Fit Chick. That's for Twitter and Instagram mostly. I'm just starting with the TikTok. Like the kids are into.
TikTok?
Yes, under Margot Donahue. Haven't posted anything yet, but if y'all are on there and you want me to follow you back, I will. So that's me. My blog is also brooklynfitchick.com.
And you can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram. And I am also on the TikTok. Yeah, TikTok, don't stop, whatever. I heard that's where the kids are. So I'm there trying to ruin it for the young people.
Hello, fellow kids.
Hello, fellow kids. I also like to do the TikTok.
Okay, you guys. So we'll be back next week with a new episode. In the meantime, try to get your vaccination as soon as you can. Wash your hands, maintain social distancing. Happy Passover, happy Easter. We'll see you in a week. And just don't be a creep.
Creep!
Thank you for listening to us talk about creeps. You can follow us at What a Creep Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
But don't follow us too closely.
You can email us your creepy stories at whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com.
But please keep your dick pics to yourself.